Greetings, my name is Andy Anderson and welcome to Adobe Illustrator CS6 training from Infinite Skills. Illustrator is an amazing program. It was born in actually 1987, came out at the very end to the public. It was called Aldous Illustrator 88 actually, but that makes this program older than Adobe Photoshop. It makes it over 25 years old. And I hate to admit this, but I've been using it for over 25 years. One of the biggest questions about Illustrator is why am I using it? And I'll get this question a lot from my students at university. It's kind of like I use Photoshop, so do I need Illustrator? Or I use Photoshop, so why do I need Illustrator? Photoshop and Illustrator are two different programs, but they work together very well. Now look at this photograph. This is a raster-dependent image open in Adobe Photoshop. Most of you know what's going to happen when I begin expanding it. It will begin to what we define as pixelate. But what does that mean? Pixelization. Images are raster-based in Photoshop, and they are built of or made of bricks in a wall. The pixels, I call them bricks, same difference. As they get bigger, the human eye can then, at that point, visualize or resolve the pixels. And the brain goes, you were fooling me. You know, I thought that was a nice sunset or a beautiful flower, but it isn't, is it? It's bricks, and now I'm going to show you the bricks because they got big enough. And as it goes back down again, the human eye can no longer resolve the pixels, and we see the image because our mind is faked into thinking those images or all those bricks are all put together. So that's kind of what a resolution-dependent image looks like. Now, look at this one in Adobe Illustrator. This is a native image in Adobe Illustrator. And again, most of you probably know this. But as I begin enlarging the image, nothing happens except it gets bigger. Now why? Images in Adobe Illustrator are constructed of math, not bricks in a wall. They're alive. It is alive. And as we change the size of the image, the math constantly redraws to give us a new shape based on what we've decided to do when we decided to enlarge it. That's what Illustrator does, and it's been doing that for over a quarter of a century. Now, CS6 has got some neat new features to it, I want to tell you, but the basics are still there. So I'm probably looking at two streams of people taking this class. The first stream, I would say, would be people that are brand new. They've never used Illustrator, but they begin to realize it's something they probably need to get into, but it's not Photoshop. It's got a lot of different features, and it draws differently, so I need some help there. And we will do that in this essential class. But the other group, I would think, would be people like myself who have used it for a while, and they know some of the basics. So what I want to try to do here is, while giving basics, is also give you some tips and tricks on how you use the program. I'm a big believer in workflow. I like to do things more efficiently, so I have more time to sit out by the pond, I suppose, and count the koi in the koi pond. The whole idea, though, is we can get faster, we can get better, and there are hidden tricks and tips in this program that you might not know. Mathematical tips that can help you draw shapes mathematically by clicking a couple of buttons instead of whipping out your calculators. A lot of different ways that we can utilize Adobe Illustrator. It is, and has been for over 25 years, one amazing application. So I think I've said about enough in this introduction. I think we need to get started. What do you say?